Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Behind the Voices with Derek, Stephen Prince. And now, your special guest, Ella, Sailor Neptune, Landa. And there we
That's some
are.
skills right there.
Right? Exactly. Well, guys, thank you for your patience. We were definitely working on some technical difficulties prior to this, and our sincerest apologies. It just means we'll have to have you back another time.
I mean, I'm going to complain about that. No. I'm down.
So,
Totally down.
welcome everybody. Welcome. It is going to be short, it's going to be sweet, and it's going to be fun. So, we're going to get right down to it, y'all.
Yes.
So, for those of you guys who may not be as familiar with Lauren Landa, you need to just stop watching the stream right now and get off. No, I'm kidding, of course. But
no, don't do that.
Just running down the bullet points of just some of the highlights of your magnificent career that you had so far. Obviously, anybody who is a Netflix user knows that you are on Beastars as Juno and Ellen. Any of the game players out there for PlayStation, I think it might also be for Xbox, but I'm not entirely 100% positive. Shinumi 3 as Lin Xiling.
Oh, Shenmue. Yeah.
Yep. And then also for you video game people, Pokemon Masters, she plays Lorelei, however you pronounce it.
I think it's Lorelei. It's been a minute.
And then, of course, OMG, Annie Leonhart from Attack on Titan.
Yeah.
Certain Magical Index as Lucia. Hero Mask as Sarah Sinclair. Seven Deadly Sins as Merlin. Hello. And of course, Sailor Neptune on Sailor Moon. The Sailor Moon franchise. And of course, my personal favorite, which you guys are going to hear about right now, today, here first, on the Digimon Prince channel. She and I are in a Netflix show that was dubbed into English. I don't remember what country it was even from. Do you remember the country?
I want to say Russia, or either Netherlands or Russia, one of the two.
Rollins. It's from that country. Yes. But it's called The 12. It is an excellent, amazing show, at least from the little that I remember in seeing some of the clips and dubbing it. And Lauren plays my daughter in it. I play one of the jury members. And it's an amazing show, very well written. I'm not 100% positive, but I think Ezra Weiss may have written it. But I'm not positive. But he did amazing direction nonetheless.
Yes.
And so there you go. That's just some of the sprinkling highlights of her illustrious career thus far. I like illustrious. I just came up with that.
Illustrious. You got so excited that you booped your mic.
I did. So let's start with the origins of Lauren, shall we?
Okay. The origins.
Right.
I'm down.
Because I first met you, I will never forget this moment, because I keep reminding you about it all the time. But I remember meeting you in a parking lot in Sherman Oaks, along with Kaji Tang and
Mariana Miller. And Julie Ray
Goldstein. And we all were down for having some dinner and just chatting about voiceovers. You had already started doing some voiceovers at that point, but you were just kind of coming up in the ranks. Yeah. But prior to that, obviously.
Yes.
So if I'm remembering Well, no, because after I met you, you were still going to college, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think because I started voiceover when I was in college. So I think, yes,
Right.
I think at the time I
Right.
was. So
Okay,
yes.
but obviously that's not where your acting career started.
No.
So, as you say with a, oh dear God,
Well,
what have I gotten myself into?
right. Well, because I know that for a lot of people, myself included, I thought, well, I want to be an actor when I grow up, so I'm going to get a theater arts degree. And it's like, you find out later in life that you don't need a theater arts degree. I'm just going to put it to you that way. Like, it's not that it doesn't do any harm, and it's not that it doesn't do you any good,
Yes.
but you just really don't need it as much as you would
Yeah.
think. So, yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
did you start acting when you were a kid?
I did. I've been acting since I was 11-ish, maybe even earlier than that, like in little plays and
Mm-hmm.
everything. And theater just became a big part of my life. And when I got to middle school, I then got into anime, and I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. Like I've never heard of this stuff. It seems pretty cool. And this was when anime wasn't really
Popular,
cool.
right? Like Robotech?
Yeah,
Are we
it
going back
wasn't.
Robotech? That far?
Oh
No.
no, this is after
Okay.
Robotech. Because after Robotech, this
Ah.
was when this was when Sailor Moon and Dragon Ball Z were on
Okay.
Toonami. Toonami was kind of newish, I think, at the
Mm-hmm.
time. I don't really remember exactly. This was when Digimon and Pokemon were like on Saturday
Okay.
mornings and stuff,
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
yeah. So I just when I got to middle school, I got into this stuff, and it was kind of cool. But then I kind of just didn't think about it for a while. And then when I got to college, I ended up taking a voice and diction class because it was
Mm.
required. It was a general education
Mm.
class. So I was like, sure, why not? I'll do it. And the person who was teaching that was a dear friend of mine. And I think you know her too, Peggy
Oh
O'Neill.
yeah.
I think you
Oh
guys,
my
yeah,
God.
Peggy. Yeah.
Okay.
Because Peggy was also in Digimon,
Yes.
and she'd been in like a bunch of other shows. And I had said, I think I want to do this after I saw what she did. And she was like, well, if you want to try it, then, you got to get some experience in there, take some workshops and all of that. And that's when it began.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
So I know that Peggy was still very much involved at that time in doing voiceover stuff. Did she allow you to sit in on one of her sessions, or what were your steps like? Okay, after you talked with Peggy, it's like, okay, now what do I do?
So, hello everybody in the chat. Hello. So pretty much I sat in on Peggy's, well, because I was taking her class, and then I think at some point we went on a field trip. If you still have field trips in
Mm.
college, I don't even know what you call it, an outing, a
Yes.
class
Yes.
outing. And I sat in on a session for a show called I Dot and Jump. Were you in I Dot and
No.
Jump? I don't
Mm.
know. Okay. Well, Mikey Sorich
Oh
directed it.
yes. Okay.
So I sat in on that session, and that's where I met Steve Bloom for the first time.
Okay.
And Steve since then has been an amazing friend. He's been wonderful. He's a dear friend. He's an amazing
Mm-hmm.
person. And so that was pretty cool because at the time I was a big anime fan. So I was like, hey, it's Steve Bloom. So pretty much, and he's been very supportive of me throughout my career. So it's been really nice. But either way, and then after that, I ended up taking a class with Bang Zoom Entertainment, which we have worked with many times together. And it was called Adventures in Voice
Yep.
Acting. And I took that class, and then it was taught by a dear friend of ours, Tony Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
And Tony pulled me aside and said, you need to be doing this professionally. And I said, okay. So he had me audition for a show that was going to be done a couple months later. And that's how I was booked in my first anime gig, which was Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha.
Okay.
It's a mouthful,
Yes.
but yeah.
Yes. Wow. That's
Yeah.
amazing. That's awesome.
It was definitely a journey. was definitely a journey.
And am I correct, because I do follow your posts,
Mhm.
that you have also directed
I have directed an
an
audiobook,
audiobook?
a multicast audiobook. As far as anime and video games,
Not yet.
no, I have
Okay.
not. I'm sure I would love to at some point, but the scheduling and all
Sure.
of that, and not only that, but it's like we have amazing directors here in the industry
Yeah.
anyway, so I'm fine with that.
Right. Right.
But no, I did direct a multicast audiobook. It's a romance novel, the first romance novel in a romance novel series. It's okay, this is a mouthful. Are you ready? It is a reverse harem paranormal romance series.
Nice. Okay.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So for those of you who are into those romance novels, I totally am. I have no shame
Yeah.
whatsoever. It's great. It's called Phoenix Cry, and it is available on Audible.
Okay.
Um which is really cool because Audible, I think when you sign up for Audible, you get 2 free
Hmm.
audiobooks, I think it
Hmm.
is. So you could get it for free technically,
Right. If you sign up
don't you like
today,
how
for free, you can get
Phoenix
Phoenix
Cry, Phoenix
Cry
Cry.
as one of your free audiobooks. There you go.
I will tell you guys something. Before I was in voiceover, I worked retail through a good portion of my life, so sales are ingrained in me.
Yeah.
So but it's great. It's about a girl named Darcy who is a witch living in the human world. She ends up getting a job as an intern at a music studio, and she ends up becoming a manager for an upcoming baby band, and that band is Phoenix
Mm.
Cry. And it's full of 5 very attractive guys who end up also being werewolves, and it's crazy, and
Okay.
there's a lot of stuff. It's great. It's great. It's great. Phoenix Cry,
How did you
yes.
get involved with
Phoenix.
that?
My dear friend KT Strange is the author of the book, actually. And she approached me and said, I really would love for you to do this audiobook. And I said, cool, I'll do it. But before I started, I thought, you know what? The problem with audio, well, it's not really a problem, but for me personally, I don't listen to a lot of audiobooks because it's always 1 or 2 actors or
Right.
people. And that to me is just
Yeah.
boring. I would much rather listen to a performance by multiple actors be performed. That's my
Hmm.
thing. So I pitched the idea to her and I said, "Well, what if we did a multicast one instead of just me?" And she was like, "Oh my god, that's an amazing idea. Let's do it." So, it has a bunch of actors that you might know
That's very
actually.
cool.
It's very cool and it was a very rewarding experience. It was not easy. It was a lot of hard work because not only did I direct it, but I engineered
Oh,
it.
wow.
I edited everything and produced it and all of that. So pretty much,
Yeah.
just a lot of it. And it was a lot of hard work, but it was so rewarding because I personally think that hard work really is the best
Hmm.
reward that you can give yourself, especially when the quality is good and when the product ends up being great.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So you obviously already had your studio prepared prior to everything going down, in March. That was like a no-brainer for you, right?
Mm. Well, I was hoping you wouldn't double check, but no.
Oh.
At first I ended up not having my booth together. I used to just record in my room because I don't have hardwood floors,
Mm.
so it really wasn't that bad. But when the quarantine started, it needed to be brought up like an extra
Yeah.
level. So then I just turned my closet into my booth, and it really I'm so grateful for it because it really has turned into such an amazing booth. Because as
Yes.
you know,
Yes.
it's not about the quality of the
Yeah.
mic, it's about the room
Yep.
space. It's about
Yeah.
that. So I'm very grateful
That's
for it.
awesome. That's awesome. And exciting news. One of the few times that I actually have a guest who is able to see all of your guys' chats as we are actually chatting. You just launched your new Twitter channel or Twitch
A
channel.
Twitch channel. Yes, I
And
did.
and where
Yes.
can people find you on that?
Okay, so you guys can find me at twitch.tv Lauren Landa. I will actually Wait, hold on. I'll do you guys one better. Hold
She's
on.
gonna message it. What?
I'm gonna message it, right? And that's actually why we have to. That's actually why we're on such a restricted schedule with this, because I'm actually streaming tonight, and I still have to prep a little bit for it. It's absolutely ridiculous. I am. I will be eating pineapple pizza for the first time.
No, shut the front door.
I've never
Was
had
this
it.
a challenge?
It's not a challenge.
Okay.
I'm gonna be eating pineapple pizza for the first time.
Okay.
It's amazing what you can do on
Yes.
Twitch.
Yes.
Because I've never had it. I've never had it, and enough people were like, "What? You haven't had this?" And so I was like, "Well, I'll just try it." And it's been a lot of fun. I've streamed maybe 3 times. Tonight will be my 4th stream, and I've just been having a blast with
That's
it.
awesome.
Honestly, it's been so much fun, and I think it's great for the fans because they get to interact, and you know, we just get to chill and have fun, and sometimes at some point when my setup is upgraded, I will be playing games, and I will be having guests on my channel. You know, I'll have you on there at some point. So, you know, it's going to be great. It's going to be awesome. So thank you for that.
Yeah. Absolutely. Want to make sure I get all of the good stuff out there before I forget.
So much good stuff.
With the amount of work that you have done, right? And you don't, I mean, prior to the quarantine, were you involved at all in like doing improv or sketch or stage still, or did you just strictly stick with voiceover at that point?
I stuck with voiceover. I haven't done theater in years and I love theater, but that is a commitment. Theater is definitely a commitment. And pre-quarantine, I used to travel a lot. I would be a guest at a lot of conventions, and so I didn't want to sign on to a production and then say like, oh, I can't be here this weekend and that weekend. That just wouldn't be fair. And I'm not that kind of a douchebag.
Right. Exactly.
You know?
And with the body of work that you've done, obviously some major shows. One of which, obviously, Attack on Titan, which is recorded in Texas. How did you get linked up with that?
That's a really good question that I know not the answer to.
Was it offered to you, or did you have to audition for it?
Oh, well, I auditioned for it.
Right.
I definitely auditioned for it. But I don't remember how my information got from point A to point B. But someone ended up, grabbing my information that was at Funimation. I don't know if it was Mike McFarland or Caitlin Glass, or I don't know. I have a lot of friends over at Funimation. Right. I'm not sure. But anyway, so I get an email saying, hey, we want you to audition for this. And I, at the time, had no idea what Attack on Titan was. I didn't even know that it was an anime. Wow. It had been out for like a year. I know, you guys are like all judging me. I can just feel it. I can just feel the judgment. I can just feel it. But no, so So I ended up auditioning for it. I ended up auditioning for Annie and a bunch of other characters. And then I think about a week later, I got a call from Mike McFarland, who is the voice director for Attack on Titan. And he's also the voice of Jean Kirstein, Master Roshi from Dragon Ball Z. Mike's done a lot. And so he calls me and he says, hey, so we've decided to cast you as Annie. I mean, that's great. That's awesome. But my reaction was, yay, awesome, yay. And just by my reaction, he was just like, have you seen the show? And I said, well, I mean, no, I don't know anything about the show. I don't know anything about the show, Mike. I'm so sorry. And he's like, okay. So... all right, here's the deal about Annie. And I'm like, okay. And he says, she starts off as a side character, but she gets bigger later.
Literally.
Yes. Exactly. I didn't get that joke because I hadn't seen the dang show. So I was like, wait, what is this about? So, most Attack on Titan fans will find that hilarious because it's a horrible pun, but I love it. Anyway, that's how I got involved in Attack on Titan.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And they knew
Yeah.
that you were a Los Angeles native.
They did. And this was during the time, it was just kind of before Source Connect was a bigger thing. It was like way before Source Connect. So I flew out to Texas to record that.
Wow. Crazy.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And the first, I think, chunk was recorded when Dallas had their Ice Mageddon. So there's that.
Nice.
There's
nice,
that.
Nice. Alrighty. Well, let me make sure while I've got you. You have to be off at what time?
6 o'clock.
Got it. Okay. So let me make sure I get through all these questions that I have written down, which you people, thank you for sending these to me beforehand. We will start with Brad Mitchell. I'm not sure, Brad, if you are online with us right now, but hopefully you are. Otherwise, that would really suck because your question's about to be answered and, there you go.
But at least we're recording
Exactly.
this.
So for posterity later. Exactly. So, Brad wants to know what it was like working on a show like Testament of Sister New Devil. And
so, yes.
It's a two-part question. And given the opportunity, would you work on a show like that again?
So, Testament of Sister New Devil is what is referred to as an ecchi show, which, being a part of Love
Wait,
Hina,
now does that mean that you have to have like an Etch-a-Sketch to do it? Anyway.
Okay, you guys all side with me, right? You guys all side at that joke, right? Right? Hey, Steve, the door's right there. No, so Testament of Sister New Devil was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. It is a mature type show, so it's not meant for children. But it is kind of a harem show, kind of like what Love Hina is, right? And it's ridiculous, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun to record. I love the entire cast. And what's really cool is that Wendy Lee directed the first season. And so we really approached it as, look, this is an ecchi show. It's an adult show. But it doesn't have to be bad. It doesn't automatically mean that it has to be crappy. Let's do it with actually like good performances and tasteful stuff and all of that. For as wonky as the show is, and not to mention that I actually really enjoy the story. So, and would I record that kind of a show again? It depends. It depends on the story. It depends on if the story is good, if there is a use for those kind of scenes, or if it's just for fan service. For me personally, I am not a fan of just random fan service stuff just to be fan servicey. To me, there has to have a point to it. It has to be part of the story, and that's what happened with Testament of Sister New Devil. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Pikachu Master 542, who is on with us,
Pikachu Master,
wants to know what your favorite Sailor Neptune moment was.
My favorite Sailor Neptune moment was, I actually have a few, but any emotional moment between her and Sailor Uranus, who is her partner in life, her partner in crime, her partner in their duty, all of that. There's a lot of really great scenes that I recorded as that character with Erica Mendez as Sailor Uranus, and that was great. There were a lot of beautiful, beautiful scenes, but there is one moment where in Sailor Stars, where Sailor Neptune, well, her name's Michiru, but Michiru is sitting in her dressing room. Seiya comes in to flirt with her, and Uranus is a little jealous and all of that. It's just a cute moment. Yeah. It's a cute moment.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
I'm giving a lightning round to these
I know,
answers. Right? That's why I'm like...
D23 Mon, I don't know if you're on, Aaron, but if you are, another Sailor Moon question for you. Yeah, well, let me before I actually ask you this question, let me preface it by asking you, are you a Marvel fan?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Then you will totally get where he's trying to go with this. So, if Sailor Moon crossed over with Marvel, okay, would Sailor Neptune team up with the Avengers or the Guardians of the Galaxy?
Oh, the Avengers, 100%.
Okay.
100% the Avengers. I don't think she would have the patience for the Guardians of the Galaxy because they're all a bunch of slack offs. Not that I don't love them, but 100% the
Right.
Avengers.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
I like that question though. That's great. That's
Yes.
great.
The question Raven, also AKA Kim, asks, since Beastars is a more adult, mature themed anime. Wait a minute, there's a running theme going around here with you getting cast in these types of shows.
Bro, you're telling me. You're telling me. It is not my choice.
But since it is a more mature themed anime, this is actually a really interesting, great question, Kim. Does your voice or acting approach differ when trying to get into the mindset of your character for that type of show versus an anime catered more towards children?
Well, to a certain degree, yes, because you have to tell yourself as the character, you have to try and, for lack of a better term, remind yourself what the character is supposed to be feeling, right? So if the character's feeling excited in a mature way, you kind of have to remember, well, what does that sound like? What does that sound like? What do I think that sounds like? And as far as kids go, when you do a show that's more related towards children, again, it's a completely different mindset. So 100%, that's a very good question. There's 100% a different mindset because they're both completely different audiences.
Brad wants to know what the process is like for you recording an audiobook. If it is different than recording for an anime, is it similar? And how much are the differences or the similarities?
That is a fantastic question. So, Brad, if you're in the chat, thank you so much for that question. I don't get asked a lot about the audiobook, so thank you for asking that. The process is, I would say it is different because with anime, and Steve will attest to this as well, with anime, you're literally watching what you are dubbing. You're matching the lip flaps. With audiobook, it's purely you just reading from the text. That's really all that it is. Now, here's the thing. With anime, well, once you've been doing it as long as Steve and I have, it becomes second nature. It's not really a difficult thing to do, but it helps to see something visual in your face. Or in your face. It helps to see something moving. It helps to see some sort of animation, some sort of movement. With audiobooks, you are getting none of that. You are quite literally reading it straight from the text, which can not only be incredibly straining on your eyes, but it can also make you, and this is going to sound strange, but once you've been reading for a long time, it can make you kind of jumble up the words a little bit because your eyes start to get tired. And I did that so many times because I voice the main character, but she's also the narrator.
Right.
So it's audiobooks are tough because you would think I'm just going to read straight from the text, but when you're doing that for 9+ hours, that can be very straining. So yeah, very different.
Yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, okay. So, a very simple question for you from Pikachu Master 542. Wants to know what your favorite dessert is.
I've gotten that question so many times, and it's such an unfair. Okay, Oreo cheesecake. That is my favorite dessert. Oreo cheesecake. Look, I have a sweet tooth. I love sweet stuff, but Oreo cheesecake is like my, oh God, I want this so bad right now.
Yeah.
So yes, Oreo cheesecake.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Yes.
Aaron D23 Mon also wants to know what your favorite Disney movie is.
I'm terrible at favorite questions, you guys. Okay, so I wouldn't say it's my number one favorite Disney movie because I have many, but one of my favorites is Beauty and the Beast.
There you go.
I love Beauty and the Beast.
Okay.
I don't know why, couldn't tell you. It just was like boom, in my face. So I loved Beauty and the Beast. So
And I, my dear, have a personal question for, well, not personal, but personal in the sense of me asking it to you directly um, in regards to voiceover work.
Okay.
Because I know the work that you have done. And there is so much more voiceover stuff that is out there other than what you have done.
Yeah.
So, if you have the opportunity, like if somebody just, called your agent right now and said, I want to book Lauren for boom, what would that be?
I can tell you right here and now, that would be a remake or a reboot of the 90s Disney cartoon Gargoyles, 100%.
Okay.
That or Harley, Poison Ivy, or Catwoman from Batman.
Oh, nice. Okay.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you, by any chance, a Gotham fan? Like the TV series?
I haven't seen it. I know that the actor who plays Ian in Shameless plays the Joker, but I haven't seen it. I have not seen it. Also, thirsty for chicken. Gaston is your favorite Disney character. I don't know if that's a good thing, but I'm just being funny. I'm just being funny. Anyway, no, I've not seen it.
Okay.
I have not seen it.
Yeah. If you ever have the time to binge watch anything, ha 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 ha.
Never, not right now.
Right. But that is seriously like one of the few TV shows that I am binge watching, and amazing acting, amazing writing.
Really?
Oh, incredible writing! Just because the concepts that some of the writers came up with as far as origin stories for some of the characters and how they became to be who they became is just incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
If anyone in the chat is a Batman fan as well as myself and Steve, I highly recommend a couple of animated features, which are Batman Under the Red Hood. That's a great one. One of my favorites is Batman Assault on Arkham. That's one of my absolute favorites because I'm a big Harley fan. I'm a big Joker fan, and Return of the Joker from Batman and Beyond is a wonderful film because that's Mark Hamill coming back as the Joker.
Awesome,
So,
awesome.
It's fantastic.
Well, my dear, it is 6:01, so we need to let you go.
Yes.
Prepare for your show. And when does your show start?
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock p.m. So in 1 hour.
So
in 1 hour.
Please, if you have nothing better to do this evening, come back, watch her stream for however long you're going to stream for. And what are you going to be doing tonight? Besides eating the Hawaiian pizza.
I'm going to be eating pineapple pizza or Hawaiian pizza because I have never had it before. And a lot of people are like, you should try it. And I'm like, you know what? You get to watch me do it. Question for you really quick, because you're from Hawaii. Yeah. So how do they feel about that in Hawaii? Is that like a, oh God, what is it? Is that like a frowned upon?
No, not at all. Not at all. But,
good to know.
But I don't know what you're getting with the pineapple, but there are some better recommendations as far as the meat choices. Like, I wouldn't put sausage with the pineapple.
I didn't get any meat. I just got pineapple.
Oh, see?
Is that okay?
Yeah, that's perfectly fine. But depending on whether you like it or not, right? Because you do have enough with the pineapple and the cheese in and of itself, because the cheese is salty, the pineapple's sweet. You got the sweet and the salty going on at the same time. So it's going to be like, what is going on inside my mouth right now? But to add on to that saltiness / meat type of thing, I would always recommend pepperoni over sausage any day of the week when you're doing pineapple.
I've heard that before. Yeah. Is it okay if I'm doing just pineapple?
It's perfectly fine. Cool. There is no right or wrong way to eat.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it needed to come with another meat, but anyway.
No.
Thank you so much for having me, Steve. I appreciate it.
I know it's been an incredible journey for us being able to have this moment right now, and I'm sorry that it was filled with technical difficulties, but...
I'm sorry. Look, he's being nice, you guys. It was my fault.
No.
He's being really nice about this, but it was my fault, so I fully take the blame for it. But either way, thank you so much, and you guys rock. Yes, if you guys want to tune in, please guys. Oh my goodness, my friend Coco just came into the chat. Hi,
Hey,
Coco. But yes, if you want to come join me and watch me eat pineapple pizza, please do at 7 o'clock p.m. tonight. Please do. Twitch.tv / Lauren Landa, one word. But thank you so much for having me,
There you
Steve.
go. All right. Mwah. Take care.
Mwah. Thanks. Bye.
Bye, guys. Please, please, please be good humans. Keep your feet on the ground and reach for the stars. Until then.